Hello, everyone. Welcome to our employer chats. My name is Abby Trout. I'm the curriculum coordinator in CLA Career Services. And I'm very excited to have our employer guest here today. Prince, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, your role, and the organization that you work for?
Got it. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Prince Saah. I work for the University of Minnesota Office of Information Technology. My role is the talent acquisition specialist. So I'm in charge of bringing new talent into the organization as well as working with our managers to see how we can retain talent. So thinking about the plan and progression for career paths of different employees that we have in our current organization.
Very cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, Prince, thinking about informational interviews, students in our courses, they are learning and engaging more in networking. So, how can students best ask for an informational interview? And if you have particular experiences from your times when students have asked you for an informational interview, that would be excellent as well.
Yeah. Um, First advice and only advice is just do it. You have to have the mentality that you are going to get yeses, you are going to get a whole bunch of no's, but you have to do it. You have to put yourself out there, put the request out there. When I was a student, LinkedIn was still this thing that was creeping up. So that was back in 2016 around there. It was LinkedIn, but it wasn't as popular as it is right now. But I would research people that were in career fields that I was interested in, get connected with them, and then use their connections to connect with other people. But I'd send them messages. Do you want to grab coffee? Do you want to do a quick phone call? Do you want to meet in person for lunch and everything? And I got a whole bunch of no's. I got a whole bunch of no responses, but I was able to get a lot of good connections, meet up with a lot of great people, go to a lot of great networking events through those connections. And it just started with being able to ask. And I was telling a lot of my friends back then, and they would be like, how did you do it? And I'm like, you just do it. You just go ahead and you send the message, and you don't let it bother you if you get a no or you don't get a response. Don't put all your eggs in one basket about one connection that you're trying to meet with, but know that everybody's valuable on LinkedIn. Everyone's valuable throughout the world. So don't look at somebody that maybe they're at an entry level position at your dream company. You're like, I don't want to work for them. I don't want to connect with them. No, take the risk and connect with them, and maybe they can introduce you to somebody else in the organization, and you can be more connected with that organization or in that career field that you're trying to go towards.
Such good reminders too about just do it. Just get out there and do the informational interviewing. That there may be a myriad of different responses or non-responses you get, but that shouldn't be a deterrent. And then
One
um,
thing I would add
mhm,
to, Abby, not to cut you off,
please,
but
no,
if
please.
you use your college student card, you're only a college student once or maybe twice for individuals that go to grad school, but I would put it in every message and say, I'm a college student. I just want to learn. And people are like, yes, I would. I want to meet with you. Now, when you're a professional and you want to meet up with someone, they're like, why are you trying to meet with me? Is this a business meeting? Am I going to have to sign up for something? Do I need to get this person on board with this meeting? But when you're a college student, as simply just sit in, hey, I'm a college student. I just want to learn from you, your perspective. People are more willing to do that as opposed to if you don't use that card and you just try to say, hey, I want to meet with you. And they're like, are you a student? Are you trying to do business, or what's the deal? So use that card as much as possible. You only get to use it once, twice, maybe, but use it when you can.
Yes, 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 yes. Students, please use your student card, so to speak. That's perfect. Um, and as we are living in this virtual environment, now definitely throughout for the rest of 2020, what do you think are the important things for students to know about networking virtually?
Number one, people can see when you're actually paying attention. There's times when I've been called out at meetings and someone's like, "You look so disengaged," and I was reading my emails in the background while they were talking. Of course, I wasn't networking at that point, but I wasn't networking during that meeting. But individuals can see when you're engaged and see when you're fully immersed with it. So understand that. Another thing I'd say is Zoom fatigue is real. A lot of professionals are spending their whole entire day in Zoom meetings, and when when you get a request that says, hey, one more Zoom meeting, you're like, is this necessary or not? So if you can offer other options besides doing Zoom, whether it's just a phone call, or a social distance, 6 feet apart, meeting in person or at a park or whatever, but trying to see if you can do something outside of the box of Zoom, or maybe give the person some time to, hey, let's do 10-minute or 30-minute Zoom session, so that way it's not so hour-long sessions that us as professionals we're probably spending our days in hour-long Zoom sessions and moving from one Zoom to the next Zoom. So understand that Zoom fatigue is real.
So true. So true. And thinking about, we won't always live in this fully virtual world. So when students do return to a place of being able to more naturally and more frequently network in person, what do you feel like are the differences between networking in a virtual environment versus networking in an in-person environment?
Understanding your persona, I think that's a really big thing. We just hired, or we're just in the process of trying to hire somebody for a VP level position over at the university, and the interviews that we did with this candidate was super amazing. We had the best persona vibe from her, as you guys would say. The best vibes came from her. We're like, man, this person's super excited to come to the university. And we flew her in from I think Florida, and she visited campus. We were 6 feet apart, but the vibe that we got from her in person was completely different. We're like, is this the same person? Just almost like the cold shoulder we received. And it was just a lesson to all of us that individuals are very different from how they might, be in a Zoom call as opposed to be in person. So I would say be your authentic self in all different spaces, because if you're going to be very nice and upbeat in a Zoom session, and individuals are going to expect that when you do meet with them, and if it's not, then they're going to be, oh, are you being cold, or are you just nervous, or things like that. So understand who you are, your persona, and know that we can, at least most people can tell and they read into people's vibe. So when you do translate into a real in-person session, they want to expect the same thing, or at least understand why maybe this person is just really upbeat on calls, and in person she's not, or they're not. So just be yourself at all times.
Such good advice. Be yourself at all times. I love that. Um, knowing that you graduated from CLA and your work in the tech field, what does it mean to come from CLA and a liberal arts background and work in tech?
Ooh, good question. Number one, understand your transferable skills that you bring to the table. I think every CLA student hears that from the time they're a freshman all the way until they graduate. Transferable skills, it's a thing, it's real. You have to understand it. And I think one of the good things with the major, at least I graduated with communication. And something CLA really taught me was understanding your story and being able to translate that to others. Look at your resume, find that story, make sure you weave it with a needle, and you find and tweak that story, and that you can tell to individuals. Tell them, hey, this is my story. I went from this position to the next position, but add anecdotes such as, I was in this position for this reason. Then I moved on to that position for that. I think within a tech field, it's one of those professions that it's more technical. If you can do the work, you can do the work. No one's gonna ask you, oh, your major wasn't really in line with that. Where, as a recruiter, where I do see majors playing a bigger deal is when we're asking for 4 years of experience and you only have 3 years of experience, but you have a degree in that field, then we're more likely to bring you on for on-site interview and to move you forward, as opposed to not. But overall, your experience is going to trump everything. So make sure that you do understand, those requirements of the position. And while we're talking about experience, one of the things that we are working with our managers and leadership team about is learning agility. So as you might spend a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the amount of time is in one position, having that experience, but we really want to focus on the learning agility. What did you take away from that experience? There's a lot of people that are in different positions, or maybe they're in the same position, And at the end of the day, you have two different experiences, two different takeaways from that same position that they're in. One person you can tell really absorbed that position, understood the why behind everything they were doing. Another person was just there to collect checks and make a good living, and that's no problem at all. But when you look at moving up in a company, people want to know, why did you do that? What was your thought process behind that? So whatever position you're currently doing, whether it's as a server or you're working in a tech field right now, understand why you're doing something, find the deeper reasoning for everything you're doing so you can translate it into the next position, the next company, the next software systems that you're engineering and things like that. Technology is always changing, so the biggest thing we are looking for is people that know the reason behind why they're doing it and they can apply it to the new technologies that are happening.
Yes, that story is so important, and telling that and making meaning of that for others, because only you know your own story. So making meaning of that for these folks that you're networking with, talking to, whether it's networking or otherwise, is so important. So thank you.
Got it. Yeah.
I loved your story about taking all those informational interviews as a student. That is so great to hear, and all of the various responses that you got. Given that the U is situated here in a major metro area, the Twin Cities, what advice do you have for students in terms of taking advantage of having the Twin Cities just right here at their doorstep?
I think as a student, when I walked throughout campus, I saw a lot of buildings that had corporate names on it. If you go to McNamara, I think you'll see a plaque with a bunch of corporate sponsors. So it really signaled that a lot of corporations want to engage and have already engaged with the university. And they've done it with their money. But then they also want to go the next step, which is meeting our students and providing opportunities to our students. So really taking advantage of that knowledge and going to those companies. I have a mentor over at 3M, and I said, hey, 3M has a nice little arena over here with us. And I know, you guys are big sponsors of that. Could you help me in my career path? Could you help pave the way for that, spread some knowledge to me? There's US Bank. There's a lot of companies want to work with us. I think it's part of the U effect. We're the biggest campus in the state of Minnesota. We are the top dogs, and I think it's really one of those things that I drew me to the university. People look at you in a high regards. So taking that to your advantage and being able to reach out to individuals and say, I'm probably one of the smartest people you'll ever meet, and being confident with yourself. I'm very confident of my skill, myself and my ability. So I'm able to use that to meet with different corporate heads and meet with different people that I know are already interested in working with us. Something I will tell students is there is a other side of the university that you guys probably don't engage with, and that's more like the admin side. Office of Information Technology is one of those administrative units that you use our Wi-Fi and our technologies, but you don't interact with us as much. And talking with our IT leaders and IT staff, they're always asking me, what are the opportunities for us to reach out to campus? Either is reach out to professors or reach out to students. We are hiring a lot of individuals, but we're seeing that a lot of the individuals we are hiring are coming from outside different corporations and things like that. And we really want to tap into the college campus students that are graduating, seeing how we can get them into entry-level positions and have them work throughout the university, have their careers with the university. So don't be shy to reach out to us. We want to reach out to you. We just don't know how to reach out to you. Part of my job is figuring out how do we do that? Is it we go to career counselors like Emily and Abby, or is it that we go to professors and we ask to speak in front of your classrooms, or is it we just wait and hope that you guys contact us? But don't be shy. If pretty much the university has every career path from an admin side of things. If you want to be in the advertising world, we have advertisers that work for you relations. If you want to be in tech world, we have our tech field that I'm in right now. So don't be shy. Figure out who's at the university that's doing the job that you want and reach out to us, and we'll be glad to definitely work with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many opportunities right here, so to speak, on campus. And that you perfectly went into my next question, which is, are you open to being contacted by students? And if so, how should they reach out to you?
Yeah, very much open. I love the ability to just be able to talk with individuals that could potentially be in our workforce at the university or help them grow into whatever career path that they want to follow. I love networking, so I love when individuals do it for me. I can pick up from them, and hopefully I can learn from them and they can learn from me as well. Best way to contact me would be through my email, and then I think Abby will be able to send out my email with this. But yeah, definitely contact me. Don't be shy. Be confident in yourself, and I'll do my best to respond.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Be confident in yourself and all that you have to offer. So that's great. Thank you, Prince.
Yep. Yep.
Um, my last question for you is kind of just an overarching question. Any advice or words of encouragement for students this fall?
This is definitely new times for everyone involved, right? I think we had the spring semester where it was more of a pivot. Now we're going into something kind of knowing a little bit more like we're going to be in this environment. Um, I think my biggest advice is learn from a lot of the things that are going on. Try to absorb as much information as you can. I've heard students in my family at least tell me that they're going to take it easy and they're going to get the easy grades, and that's great. Now you might end up with an A but not learn anything. If that's the path you want, I say don't do it. Try to do your best to learn and absorb as much information as possible. The information you learn now, you don't think you're going to use it, but a lot of times I'm reading my communication textbooks and trying to figure out how to do group communication and how to bring people and facilitate conversations and things like that. So try your best to learn from everything that you're going through right now, and know that COVID-19 is just a season of time. We're going to get over this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Prince, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.